What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And this one I'm going to be showing to make a barbershop. Now this is the refresh series barbershop, and this is actually going to be able to work in tandem with the next refresh, which is laundromat. I think it's the next one. Uh, so yeah, I'll explain that more in the laundromat, but I will talk about it a little bit here as to what is happening. And yeah, with that being said, here's a sneak peek of the interior, and enjoy the tutorial, and I will catch you on the flip side. Here is what the build looks like at nighttime. You see we got lights. Wow, crazy. And on another note, here is the original barbershop. Could definitely be worse, but, you know, it could also be a lot better. And here is the remake barbershop, which is different. It's not that bad. It's just very, very interesting. And yeah. Finally, on to the less promotional stuff and more important stuff. Here are all the materials you will be needing for the exterior of this build. Interior obviously won't be in this video, but still, figure I'd mention. Alrighty, and the space from you for this is a 15 by 46. Now, this includes the road. Generally, with Refresh, the road is not included, but this would be going on like a main street or something. And as you can see on the left there, the road is, in fact, part of it, and I'll explain how all of that will go and just like what the general stuff is if you were to continue the road. So anyway, you want to start by getting out the following. Smooth stone slabs, gray concrete, and yellow concrete. That's all we'll need for now. And if you start from the front left-hand corner, you want to start by placing a smooth stone slab on this first block of your 15 by 46 grid cough if you made it. Going backward and breaking into the ground, you will place 3 gray concrete, a yellow concrete, 6 gray concrete, and then up from there you'll place a smooth stone slab. In addition, you can actually get out sandstone, and you're going to break 3 sandstone in the floor going back from that, and that'll be pretty much where we start. From this block, you're going to count back 2 and right 1, and that's where we'll actually start. Yeah, so this road, essentially, I'll explain it again as we go. If you do need the general, like, number, that's how wide the road is, though. It is uneven for a reason. On one side, we have parking spaces. If you want to extend the other side and have parking spaces on both sides, you can also do that. I felt like that was a lot, and I didn't really feel like that was important for this particularly, but, you know, if you do feel like it will make more sense symmetrical, then you can absolutely go with that. Anyway, starting on the actual build, you want to get out the following. Terracotta, bricks, warped planks, warp stairs, smooth quartz blocks, black stained glass panes, cyan concrete, dark oak doors, and we'll go smooth quartz slabs, and that should get like the bottom front done. So again, if you start from this back sandstone, if you already counted, then whatever, but you'll count back by 2 and right by 1. From that, and going right, you'll place a terracotta, warped plank, 2 upside down warp stairs facing forward, warped plank, 2 upside down warp stairs facing forward, warped plank. Extend the 2 end warped planks up with 3 smooth quartz blocks each, and then you'll connect them together with black stained glass panes. You can also do it from the middle one if you wanted. That would just give you, I guess, more of a framed window, but it's up to you either way. I think it looks fine regardless. You'll then place a row of cyan concrete on top. From the right side of this window, you're going to go back diagonally right with a cyan concrete, right with a dark oak door, and then right with another cyan concrete. But then I guess you'll place 2 terracotta to the right, because we might as well. The cyan on either side of the door you will bring up by 3. And then, actually we'll go 4, bring it up by 1 more. And then on top of the dark oak door, you'll place a cyan concrete. Above that, a smooth quartz slab. And then above that, we're just going to go with a smooth quartz block. It doesn't matter. You could technically do a slab, and then you'll have a weird gap, but you won't see it anyway, so just kind of throwing that out there. You can already get rid of your dark oak door, cyan concrete, and black stained glass panes. There's no other windows on this build, and you want to get out the following. Mangrove planks, mangrove slabs, and brick slabs. And I think after we do this, we're probably just going to clear our inventory because there's no point. So in front of the cyan concrete here above the window, if you take the furthest right and left cyans, you're going to count in by 1 and place a smooth quartz block. Then go in with a mangrove plank, and then you should place a smooth quartz block directly in the center. In front of each of those blocks, you'll place a slab of the same color, and then bring those slabs down with an upside down slab. Whoopsies. What did I just... the mangrove, I think. Yeah. Like so. Off the left and right of these front rows of upside down smooth quartz slabs, and regular smooth quartz slabs, you'll place a mangrove the same, and then extend those mangrove just back with upside down slabs. And I guess the right side up slabs again. It'll look like this, essentially. And then it'll just give you a little bit of an overhang on the window. To the right of this top row of cyan concrete, you're going to want to place 4 upside down brick slabs extending to the right. And then what you can do from this point is take these right 2 terracotta and extend them each up with 4 bricks. This furthest right brick you're going to bring up diagonally forward with a brick, then go up by 2. At the far left, this singular terracotta, which should have been the first block we placed on the build itself, you will extend up with 7 bricks. And then take that top brick and extend it all the way to the right. And it should give you this. Before we actually clear our inventory, I feel like it makes sense to do the sides and back because they're just flat. So if you take both the left and right furthest terracottas, you want to extend them both back by 27. Now, you will notice from the back they are not in line, and that's kind of what you want. Now, if you end up taking this furthest back terracotta, which is going to be on the right side, you'll just extend it left by 4. And then from this point, you should be able to bring each terracotta up with 7 bricks. At least out of the ones that haven't been brought up already. And on the right side here, where you have the little spot where it overhangs, you can just kind of fill the brick over and above that. Just basically creating a... I'd say a flat... I guess it is a flat wall, yeah. I guess the extrusion is technically not on the sides, so... Hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am, for the most part, recording these. Yippee. Also, members, if any of you are actually watching this at this point in the video, Chapter 2 will continue next week, because I know I've had somebody be asking about that. And, yeah, because it's, what is it, Thursday? And I don't record tutorials either tomorrow or Saturday. And I don't know if I will Sunday. I know Sunday won't be a stream because it's Mother's Day. But I don't know if I'll be able to record or not, and if I do, it may or may not be Chapter 2. I don't know. Depends if I do the LN2 Doctor statue today, because I really want to do that. Anyway, it should look like this from, I guess, whatever view. We did leave a portion of the back open. If you take the, right wall here, this one that kind of we brought over a little bit, you can extend the top 3 rows of bricks left, and they should just, you want to basically connect them to the corner on the other side, and it'll kind of look like this. It looks strange, but... trust the process. You'll then place a row of upside down brick slabs underneath all of those overhanging bricks, and you can essentially, on the shorter wall, you'll bring the terracotta and bricks at the bottom all the way across and fill it in. It's something with the interior, I think. This side is a bathroom, which ends up sticking back further, and then this side didn't need to stick back as far, and I just kind of felt like doing something. I don't know. I didn't want just a flat wall, especially when you consider the laundromat being a part of this, because then you also... have that, I think, as a flat wall, and yeah, it'd just be a really long, flat brick wall, and I think they're the same distance back. I could be wrong, I don't remember that, but I guess we'll find out later. Anyway, I think from that point you can clear your inventory, because you don't need the bricks again, and you want to get out the following. We'll do the rest of the detailing on the front, and then we'll do banner letters, I guess. You want to get out hoppers, red nether brick walls, diorite walls, prismarine walls, sea lanterns, end rods, wither skeleton skulls, stone stairs, and stone slabs. So, off of the terracotta on the far left and far to the front, in front of it, you want to place a hopper just coming off of the grass, so it'll connect into it like so. Connect into the floor, I should say. Extend either hopper up with a red nether brick wall, diorite wall, prismarine wall, and then a sea lantern. We really just missed the most obvious material. That's crazy. Whatever. We'll worry about that in a sec. On the top row of brick here at the front, you'll leave the left and right 2 bricks open and place an end rod extending in from there, coming off the wall, like so. You'll then leave a gap of 3 from either one and place an end rod in the direct center, like so. Off of the short end, I guess, of each of those, you're going to place a wither skeleton skull facing forward, which is the best thing I could find to do lighting. Oh wow, that makes a wither. If you don't want to use that, I think a flower pot would work kind of nicely if you placed like a structure void under it or something. Because it would go down a little bit, but even like stairs would work, trapdoors would work. I just play with it if you don't like the wither skeleton skulls because of the faces, but I think they're fine. Anyway, get rid of anything but your stone stairs or stone slabs and get out blue concrete. And I don't know how I just like forgot to do this, but fill in the center of this like with blue concrete. Just below the top row of brick, you're placing 2 rows of blue down, like so. At the far right of this, on either of the blue concrete rows, you'll place an upside down stone slab like so. It'll look like an equal sign, kind of. To the left of them, it'll be off the top blue concrete, you'll place a stone slab. And then left of that, you'll place an upside down stone stair facing right. Underneath that stair, you want an upside down stone slab, and that'll look like a pair of scissors, kind of. Guess it's not a perfect pair of scissors, but when you have a 2x3 or a 3x2 space to work with, you know, it's not exactly amazing. Anyway, it's banner letter time, my favorite time of the day. I hate building banner letters, or making banner letters, but it's fine. You want to start by getting out the following: a loom, blue banners, and then you want white dye and a blue dye. Smack your loom aggressively on the floor. That's the only way you can do it. If you do it any other way, it's wrong. And I'm going to get rid of the loom so I have more inventory space for the banners, although I don't know. B-A-R-B-E. Yeah, okay, it doesn't really matter. Put in your first blue banner and your white dye, and you want to do all 4 sides as with the white line. So Chief Fest is the top, Base Fest is bottom, Pale Sinister is right, and Pale Dexter is left. I'm getting them memorized, which is never a good sign. Do the line through the middle, left, and right, which is Fez. I'll put it to the front, why not? Put in your next banner and do white dye at the top, which is Chief Fez. Put in a singular blue dye and do the lozenge, which is the diamond-looking one, and then you can put back in your white, and it'll do line down right and left, which is Pale Sinister and Pale Dexter. Then line to the middle, which is Fez. Put in your next blue banner and do the line down the right with white, which is Pale Sinister. Put in a blue dye, and you want to do the full bottom half as blue, which is, I want to say it's Perfess inverted or something. Yeah, Perfess inverted, crazy. Then put in your white dye and do line down left, which is Pale Dexter. Oh, that looks so weird. Line from top left to bottom right, which is Ben. I'm just trying to make this weird now. Line across top, which is Chief Fez, and then line to the middle, which is Fez. You're going to need another B and an R if you're doing this in survival for whatever reason, but if you don't, if you're in creative, you just need to do the E banner, which is Chief Fez at the top with white, Base Fez, which is at the bottom, Fez, which is through the middle, and then Pale Dexter, which is down the left. And I'll put all this in my hotbar just so it's easier to clear, and then I can get rid of the loom. In line with the top row of blue concrete going left to right, I'll leave the first one open, and I'll place the B, A, R, B, E, R, and it should spell out Barber. If you don't like the way the A looks, by the way, because I am realizing it looks a little inconsistent with the way the R's are, you can do the... what is it called? You can just remove the lozenge, and it'll make that little gap smaller and more consistent with the rest. I just like the way that looks better in general, so I usually go with it, I think, regardless of circumstances. I don't think that far. Anyway, you can now get out deep slate bricks and deep slate brick stairs. And the first thing you want to do is take the top row of brick and just go around with deep slate bricks on top. It should be a perfect rectangle at this point, which is nice. Even though we have some weird walls and stuff going on, but, you know. And then you'll surround those in upside down deep set stairs. Just like this. And then you can fill in the roof with deep set bricks. I'll talk about the laundromat parody for a second here as we do this. I don't have any others that are planned right now to go with it. I'm thinking dry cleaner might, because I know I have a dry cleaner at some point that will get a refresh. But yeah, essentially it's gonna be like the brick wall probably will be double layered. I think you can technically make it where they share a wall, but I'll talk about that in the tutorial itself and just kind of see how it ends up working, because I can check with the parking lot, because I think I considered that with the parking spaces, I should say. But yeah, again, I'll explain it more in the next part, because it's basically just going to be putting it directly next to it. But anyway, yeah, you should have this. I know, I think it would actually be double layered because of the Barber pillars there. Anyway, to finish off, I think you can get out smooth stone slabs, gray concrete, yellow concrete, white concrete, sandstone, and pink petals. You can do whatever flower. I just use the pink petals because I thought they kind of fit here. Could also use the wildflowers. That's a good one. You want to take either smooth stone slab along with the row of 3 sandstone, actually, and just send it all the way across the grid, which should be right by 14. And obviously you'll have to break some grass for the sandstone. Nice, yeah. And that'll be like most of it. It's really not a crazy part, honestly. Just like so. Where the door is, if you look at the doorway, the dark oak door itself and the cyan concrete left and right of you can just break the 2 grass in front of it and replace them with sandstone to connect into the path. This would be like the normal sidewalk, and again, you'll see the same thing happen with the laundromat. I think the spacing's a little bit different, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it's a little different, I think. The wall might be more forward or something. But anyway. From this point, you can actually just break all of the grass in between the 2 rows of smooth stone slabs. And we can start working on this. We'll start with the, like, parking spaces at the back, and then I'll just explain how you fill the rest in, which is fairly easy. And how the parking spaces work in general if you do want to keep this going. Although it should be fairly self-explanatory. Hopefully. So at the backmost row, going left to right, you want to do the following. You're going to place a white concrete, 5 gray, white concrete, 5 gray, white concrete, and then a gray. And you'll extend each of those forward by 2. So the parking spaces are just, 5 gray between each white strip, and they're 3 out. If you want to make them a little bit longer, you can. You could make them like 6 or something, but they're actually the same size as the normal parking spaces I do, just the lines are, shifted, so. Yeah, but all the grays and yellow here at the front, you'll just bring across with no pattern, just, gray to the right or yellow to the right or whatever. And yeah, that'll be the exterior of the barber shop done. This is one of the few that actually, well, I guess we gotta do the pink petals, but if we do the pink petals real quick, it's literally just placing them on whatever grass you want, however many you want. You could do 1, none, 2, 4, however many, just kind of going around to add a little bit of color there. And again, you could mix in wildflowers if you wanted, or just regular flowers. I think wildflowers would make the most sense, just because, they're the same block. They didn't even exist when I made this originally, just as a fun fact. But like, yeah, maybe throwing in a few there, just to mix up the color. This is one of the only refresh, though, that all 3 versions have an interior, because the original barbershop did, and has there been any yet that would work that way? I don't think so, actually. I think this is the first one where all 3 have an interior. That's interesting, because generally, I mean, most remakes do, but almost all of the originals at this point in time wouldn't have. So yeah, this might be the very first, unless I'm missing one, but I don't think I am. If anybody remembers one, let me know. Wendy's, I think, does. I think Wendy's was another one, but Wendy's is also not out yet. And I haven't even recorded it yet, obviously, because if I'm saying that at this point, then yeah, okay, whatever. But anyway, once you're done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the exterior for your Refresh Series Barbershop complete. So yeah, have fun with this. And again, I'll explain a lot more about the rodent stuff in the laundromat one whenever that comes out again. That should be next refresh, hopefully. And yeah, I do recommend combining the two because that was literally the whole reason I made them look the same. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, again, thank you guys if you guys did enjoy this video. Have a fantastic rest of your day or night. And I will see you on the next one. Okay, it took my emoji. Never mind. I was a little late to open the menu, and it just is gone. You know, it's just is not there. Anyway, peace.